Hey, do you remember that Batman comic where the Joker and Batman did nothing but Mortal Kombat uppercuts on each other?
Neither do I, because that shit never happened.
Well, yeah, this is kind of a new thing for me because I'm using a camcorder. But anyway, reviews about this game, as you no doubt probably can tell. I was really looking forward to this game, being a big fighting game fan. Okay, so I'm not a massive Mortal Kombat fan, and I'm not a massive DC fan either, but, you know, it could work. Marvel vs. Capcom worked, although there was a good reason for that. Capcom, well, they've been making Street Fighter games and X-Men games for years. Both series suited 2D fighting games. Also, well, 2D was all the rage back then. Yeah, okay, they did start to bring in 3D, but it looked really shit. So if they did try to make it in 3D, it would look really shit. Well, today 2D stuff really isn't accepted, so we've got 3D Mortal Kombat with DC characters in it. Obviously concessions were made.
Fight!
Okay, as you can see, so far so good. It just looks like any other Mortal Kombat game, and it looks like it plays like any other Mortal Kombat game. Don't be fooled though. For a start, there's several key differences between this and the other 3D Mortal Kombats of past. First thing is the rage bar, which is the little yellow bar that's right next to the timers for both characters. That allows you to do breaker combos, which like if someone's actually doing a massive combo on you, you just press forward and block, it allows you to get out of it. Or if you allow it to build up right to the very top, it goes into rage mode, which means you do double damage and can't be knocked over. It can break the game in some instances with certain characters, mainly because they can just pummel you to death or you can't do anything about it. It forces you to go on the defensive if you've not got rage. You've also noticed that there's a lack of blood in this game. I mean, I'm playing the European version, so yeah, it's a bit more bloodier, but the American version is actually censored. So, they censored a Mortal Kombat game. You've not seen anything like this since, well, the SNES era, when Nintendo neutered their copy of Mortal Kombat for their consoles to make it more family friendly. Anyway, yeah, the fatalities are not particularly good. I'm not going to bother showing them because you can look them all up on game trailers or on YouTube anyway. The two recent additions that they've added to this other than the rage bar though, I'm going to show you them right now.
Fight!
The real killer though is in fact the controls, well, for the Xbox anyway. Unless you've got a pad with a really good D-pad or a horizontal controller, you're not going to get much use out of this game. Ducking and jumping is almost impossible with the analog stick, and you have to keep constantly switching between the D-pad and the stick just to do it properly. My brother keeps accidentally hitting the pause button while doing it as well, which is quite funny. To jump, you actually have to hold the left trigger and press up and down. Why can they have made the left trigger 3D roam as opposed to jump and duck, which is what you'd be needing more in a fighting game? I just don't know. Anyway, if you're used to playing nice and fluid games like Tekken, Virtua Fighter, Soul Calibur, then you're out of luck. This game's stiff as fuck, and because of the really dodgy controls, the game basically just craps itself. when you try to do anything complicated.
Oh, Mum! Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe has made a mess on the floor again. Another thing I'd really like to point out is what it says on the back of the box here. Fight in all new arenas. Compete in sprawling arenas such as Gotham City, Earthrealm's Hell, and even merged arenas. One problem, they're all uninspired and incredibly shit. Seriously. Oh, and did I forget to mention that there are no pit fatalities? Come on, you remember pit fatalities in Mortal Kombat? You uppercut someone, they fall into something like a metro train or a bed of spikes. Yeah, well, that doesn't happen in this game. Don't know why.
I'd just also like to show you guys the option screen. There isn't very much here, and that also goes against the game. The game will get boring very quick for a lot of casual fans. Arcade mode is self-explanatory. Story mode, you either get to play as MK or the DC side. Only lasts about 2 hours for each faction, and generally it's over within an evening. Combo challenge, you get to practice some really anal combos, so good luck getting the achievements for that. Then there's the really quite shit practice mode, which, guess what, doesn't allow you to perform Mortal Kombat fatalities. What is the fucking point in that? The only thing that one person would like to, you know, gain the most practice out on, and no, they're not going to allow it. Fucking idiots. Do they even know their own market anymore? There's also an issue of character balancing. I mean, everyone and their mum knows teleport moves in this game, but it seems that certain characters are able to combo with their teleports more better than others. More noticeably, the Flash. Dear Lord, he is the cheapest fucking character ever. You can just tell that this was basically a bit of a rush job, thanks to well, basically DC with their demands. Originally all the characters could have fatalities, then DC said no, and so on and so on. It's a real shame, because this could have turned out to be a really good game if they just bothered to bake the cake a little bit longer, I suppose. There's not really that much else I can actually say. Can I recommend this game? No, not really. I mean, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix has just come out on Xbox Live, and it costs 1/4 the price of this thing. Oh, RIP anyway. Also, Street Fighter 4's out next year, and there are a ton of other games that you can get much, much cheaper and considerably better, like Soul Calibur 4 or Virtua Fighter 5. There's no real need to spend your money on this. I mean, unless you're a really big DC fan, I know a few of these people are, wait for it to drop down in price, then buy it. Don't buy it now, because even at 30 quid you're probably getting ripped off, in my opinion. Story mode's too short, arcade mode won't keep your interest for very long. The games mechanics, they're too complex for beginners to get into. I mean, like the advanced combos and stuff, while for higher end tournament players the game's too broken for any tournament play, so it's a lose-lose situation really. Anyway, this has been Danny from Wave 6, I'll catch you later, bye.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.